Hello everybody! Happy Friday night. Welcome to my Zen Den. I am so happy that you're here to join me. My name is Mandy Van Havermont and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up from Great Eagle, Minnesota. I am going to share with you tonight the sweet Regal Winter, and I've got a really cool, it's a new product that is on the online exclusive. So it's exclusively online available. It's available online. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It is called the Color Coach. And we got one of these when we went to Houston last year to OnStage. It was I've used it so much, and I am so very excited that Stampin' Up has made it available for customers to purchase. So I'm going to share with you what the Color Coach is and how to use it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a card using the Regal Winter Suite collection, the stamps, and I'm going to use kind of a fun color combination that I found kind of using the Color Coach. So I'm going to flip the camera around here and we are going to get stamping. One. Good gravy. I'm tripping on things. Hold on a second here. Let's flip the camera around. All right. There is the Regal Winter Suite. It is on page 34 and 35 of the mini catalog, the July, oh my goodness, September to December mini catalog, Regal Winter. And the colors of this suite are just beautiful. It's such a bunch of just regal, very jewel tone colors. So that being said, I was talking to you about the Color Coach, and I'm going to change things up just a little bit. So this is what the Color Coach is, and it helps you to kind of place colors together that you maybe wouldn't normally do. So what I did is I wanted to use on one of my cards, I wanted to use Poppy Parade. So I put Poppy Parade, and I wanted to use 3 different colors. So this is the triadic, these 3 here. So basically, if you get colors from this area, they're going to go together. Okay? Kind of simple, right? So I decided that I'm going to use Poppy Parade. It's in there. I'm going to use Pool Party, which is in there just a little bit. And then on this side over here, it's got Lemon Lolly, Very Vanilla, and Lemon Lime Twist. This is not set in stone. Daffodil Delight, if you tweak that over just a little bit, you can see Pool Party still in there. Poppy Parade is still in there. I got Daffodil Delight. I decided to change things up just a little bit because the in colors are not on here. This is the core colors that are in here. So I decided to use, instead of a Daffodil Delight, so I've got my Poppy Parade, my Pool Party, I'm going to use Peach Pie instead. Still kind of that yellowish tone. I just wanted it a little different. I thought the peach pie would look nice. And then I'm going to use Crumb Cake. Crumb Cake is a neutral, and neutrals are delightful and they go with everything. This is the back of the Color Coach. Kind of tells you how to use it. So like the analogs, these colors here are all analogous. I'm not sure. I know I'm not saying that right. These 2 here would be across from each other. They'd be complementary. So the purples and the greens are complementary from each other. Always go together really well. Here, the blues and the yellows always complement each other really well. And then you've got the monochromatic. So this window here is, it would say, like this one here says Fresh Freesia, Bubble Bath, Melon Mambo, Cherry Cobbler. They're going to be kind of a monochromatic kind of look. So that's what that means. This is a really neat tool. It's $12.50. It's made of like a really durable, thin plastic. It's really, I have used it so very much since I got it last spring. I'm in love with this Color Coach. So highly recommend that. It's an online exclusive, $12.50. I totally recommend it. Okay, but now since I've got you with my colors here, let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out some directions. And this here, pretty simple for the papers that I'm going to be using. Should I show you the card I'm going to be making? This is the card we're going to make. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. And I don't know that I would ever put Pool Party and Poppy Parade together. with the peach pie. I don't know that I ever would have, but I love how they work together so well. So what we're going to need is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 Pool Party. And then we're going to need a piece of Poppy Parade. And I'm going to tell you, I already die cut it because I didn't want to make you guys watch me die cut twice. So it's a piece of Poppy Parade that is 4 by 5.25. And I've already die cut it apart. So that's what that is all about. It was originally one piece. And then I've got 2 pieces of 3 3/4 by 5 basic white. So let's do some stamping, shall we? And I've cased this card very similarly out of the catalog. I'm kind of making this card right here. That's kind of loosely what my card that I made is based off of. I mean, I pulled a lot of inspiration out of here, but I wanted to use the stamps. So that's where I got my inspiration, if you're wondering. So we've got our Poppy Parade. Let's open up our ink pads. Pool Party, Peach Pie, and Crumb Cake. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to start with the Poppy Parade and use the three flowers just up there and maybe down in this corner. Beautiful. And then I'm going to bring in this stamp right here, and I'm going to ink that up in my Pool Party. And I know it's kind of, I always get kind of, I don't know, I want to say nervous. That's not really the word I want to use, but I'm apprehensive about stamping like this sometimes, but the more you do it, the funner it gets. And we don't make any ugly cards. We don't make any cards that aren't beautiful. So go ahead and let your imagination run wild. Try something new. Try something different. Oops there. It's going to be covered up. Nobody's going to know. Don't worry. Nobody will know. All right. And then I've got my little dots there. And I'm just going to stamp a few of those just to fill up my paper a little bit. Should have used a background paper, shouldn't I have? That would have been smart. There. Okay. So there is my stamping. Now I've also got 1 scrap of basic white that I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to use this beautiful sentiment, wishing I were there to give you a hug. Isn't that perfect? There are so many times I could send that card out. And I'm going to ink that up in my Pool Party. Perfect. Okay. So let's close up, let's close up our ink pads. Let's close up our ink pads, because you know what's going to happen if I don't close up my ink pads. I'm going to set a piece of paper down in one of them. All right. So I'm going to bring in my die. I know I have this stamp set somewhere. Here it is. I'm going to bring in my die. And this die is really neat. And I'll show you what I mean with my piece of Poppy Parade here. When I cut this out, I'm actually going to get 2 pieces. I'm going to get this piece, and then I'm also going to get this border piece. This Poppy Parade border I'm going to use on a card. This I will save for another time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the basic white. And I just want the inside to be white. So let's pull in our plates here. And I've got plate number, we're cutting. Let's see here, we're cutting. So I'm going to use plate number 1. And then I'm going to put down plate number 2. And then I've got 2 plate number 3s. So we're going to put 1 down. And then we're going to set our die, our paper, and then our die right in there. And always make sure, especially when you're doing one with a square edge, that you don't put that square edge in flush going under these rollers, because these rollers, that's when you make the big clunk clunk sound. You want to make it just canter it just a little bit so you get a corner that goes in, or a smaller edge that goes in first. It's going to be easier on your plates, and it's going to be easier on your dies, just better all the way around. So then another plate number 1 right up back on top, and I'm going to run that through the cut and emboss machine. And if you ever find that your die is not sticking in place, like if it's shifting around, you can always use a Post-it note or a piece of Post-it tape or a piece of washi tape, and that will hold your die onto your paper, and you can run that washi tape or that Post-it note right, like stick it right over to your die and run it through. It's just fine on your die and it's fine on your machine. No worries there. All right, so you can see I've got that border inside my die. I'm just going to leave that there so I don't lose it. I'm not going to use it right now. But what I've got is this beautiful die, and I've got this shape here. So what I'm going to do is flip it over, and nobody ever sees the back side of your label, right? So I'm going to take some good old Scotch tape, and I'm just going to tape that down. I have done it where I've used the, let's trim that off. I have done it where I've used the dimensionals to hold that down, but I find that it wiggles a little bit. This is a little bit more secure. There is no right or wrong way. Just know that. Make this work however you make it work, and however makes you happy with your finished product. So this is what makes me happy, and I'm going to tape it down just because I don't like that wiggly. So one more piece over here. Probably wouldn't need it. I'm probably over taping this considerably, but so there we go. Isn't that cute? That is so neat. I love the different color border on the outside, and it pops so nicely on there. So let's build our card. Let's fold and burnish our piece of Poppy Parade. And we're going to adhere our, I love that. That is so cool. I just love it. It's such pretty colors. Such fun, happy, pretty colors. And it's so different from the sweet colors. And the sweet colors are gorgeous. And the sweet colors are actually my kind of colors. I am a Regal, a jewel tone. Jewel tones are my thing. But I wanted to try something different, and I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to use Poppy Parade. So that was my springboard for how to come up with this color combination. So let's put that down on top. And then just to add a little bit of sparkle, I'm going to use some of this, it is striped trim. It's like an iridescent, and it's see-through, and it's so pretty. And it makes great bows because it's so light. All right, so I'm just going to trim a little piece of that, and I'm going to add it right through the middle. And all I'm going to do to adhere it down is put just a little piece of adhesive down, like so. Just like that, and then we'll put some dimensionals on the back of that. I should bring that in for you, shouldn't I? So you can see what I'm doing. And I love being able to take just a couple of pieces of plain paper and make something beautiful like this. That is the funnest thing to me. The designer series paper is great too, and I use that to the fullest extent possible, but I like it when we can stamp something just so fun and so beautiful. All right. Just like that. So fun. I love this. Okay, so I'm going to, I've got my piece of basic white. I'm going to stamp that, or I'm not stamping that. I'm just going to put that right in the middle. And if you wanted to stamp something on there, you totally could. Let's do that. Let's see, we've got this little flower right here. I like that little flower. Comes with the stamp set. I'm gonna grab some Poppy Parade. Just like that. So fun. What a happy, fun card. If you'd like to grab a screenshot of that, there's your chance. And then I've got a simple card for my second card. So simple. Looks like a lot of pieces of paper, but it's really not bad. It's just a pretty simple layout. This is what I'm using as an example. I'm going to change my sentiment up just a little bit. So this comes out of the Designer Series paper. I've got an 8.5 by 5.5 Blackberry Bliss, a 4 by 5 1/4 Very Vanilla, a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 Very Vanilla, and a 5 1/4 by 2 1/4 Very Vanilla. And then I've got some of the Designer Series paper, 3 by 3 square, and a 5 by 2 piece of the Regal Winter Designer Series paper. And this paper, it's so yummy. Oh my goodness, I just love it. I've also got a scrap of Very Vanilla that I'm going to use. So let's fold and burnish our Blackberry Bliss, one of my very favorite colors. And this is, like I said, this is such a fast, simple card. You could reproduce this card and it would be a beautiful birthday card, make a beautiful sympathy card, thank you card, any kind, any sentiment. Just a beautiful, beautiful card. And the deep purples are the best. So I'm just going to layer my 2 pieces of Designer Series paper onto my Very Vanilla. And I like this card because usually we layer onto the darker colors and then put it onto the Very Vanilla cardstock. I like this one because it's just a little different than what we normally think of with the Very Vanilla matting the darker colors. So I'm going to place that. I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch from the fold there and just put that right down. And then you could bump this up if you wanted to, but I'm going to bump up my sentiment. I'm going to put that about a 1/4 inch from this edge then. And I'm not centering it up and down. I'm putting it towards the down on the bottom half a little bit, but not all the way down. So if that makes sense. All right, now we're going to stamp. I thought I would make a card that says missing you, just because I don't have many cards that say that, and I thought that's a good sentiment to have a card to say missing you to somebody. And I'm doing a basic, what I'm going to do, I just stamp that in Blackberry Bliss, and I am just going to use my snips and cut that out. You could grab, if you had a die that you wanted to use, you totally could use a die, but I don't think I need to. You know what? I'm not liking this one just because I cut too close to the bottom. Let's do it again. Here's the beauty of making your own cards. If you don't like what you did, do it again. Okay, let's try it. I'm already liking it better. Just a little bit bigger. All right, just like that. And I'm going to put that right down onto there. I'm looking for some ribbon, but I don't have any ribbon that's off-white. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I like it. And I'm going to put some embellishments on there anyhow. So I don't have to go crazy. Sometimes I think we put too much on our cards, honestly. Sometimes the simpler is better. So grab my dimensional here and put that on just right down there. So beautiful. And then I've got this stamp that says sending love your way. I'm going to stamp that on the inside. Beautiful. And let's clean this little flower stamp, and we're going to stamp a little Blackberry Bliss flower in there too, because that just is pretty. So let's put that on the inside of our card. Pretty beautiful. Okay, and I'm going to, like I said, I was going to put a few gems on there. I have got iridescent foil gems. So I'm going to take my take your pick tool. I'm going to grab a big one and put it right there, and then I'll grab two smaller ones. Let's see, yeah, let's go this way. Like that and like that, and I think that adds the perfect amount of sparkle. It kind of balances the card out. So there is card number 2. Like I said, really a simple card that you could make for any occasion. So there are my 2 cards for tonight. Again, the Color Coach, this is an online exclusive, really a handy tool. If you've got, if you struggle with colors at all, this is a great tool. So I am going to flip my camera back around. And say goodbye. There we go. All right, so I hope that this inspired you to try some new different colors with the Color Coach, using the Color Coach, or whatever, however, wherever you get your inspiration. This is just a great tool to help you out. It is deer hunting weekend here in Minnesota, so I would be very remiss if I didn't wish all the deer hunters a very lucky season and a very safe season. So have a great weekend. I hope you get some crafting in, and I will see you back here next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.